All right, welcome everyone. We are starting Group C. Before we get to that, I'm Niz. Welcome to NizCast. This is the Dota 2 Canada Cup. We're in the group stages, and like I said, we're starting off Group C tonight. We've already covered Group A and Group B the previous 4 nights, where, well, Group A wasn't as close as Group B, that's for sure. As Group B was quite interesting. We had a good, pretty much a good solid 6 games all through Group B, and it came down right to the end to know who was going to advance.
10 seconds remaining.
But we did get that all squared away.
5 seconds
In the end, we've
remaining.
had Wheel
Radiant
advance.
Team pick.
We've had Boreal advance. We had, I'm drawing a blank now. How am I drawing a blank? We had Summoner's Rift and Leviathan. Those are the 2 from Group A. But in Group B, it came down to the wire. And Root Gaming in our final game played a little bit of the how do you want to call it? Spoiler role, and just kind of knocked Black Sheep out of contention. But it was a good series of events, and actually quite surprising to see a team like Root Gaming go down and not even advance,
remaining.
given that you know, they're playing with Fluff,
5 seconds
and
remaining.
on top of that, after their final game, they actually announced
Reserve time.
that TC, who was standing in for them for the full tournament, is actually going to be on their roster as well. So a team with Fluff and TC didn't manage to make it through the
Dire
group
team
stage.
ban.
That just shows you what the play level's like in this Dota 2 Canada Cup.
Dire team ban.
Before we hop into to this game, I should give you a rundown on who's in the Group C. That's going to be Not Today versus compLexity, which we're going to see here. We're also going to see Rebel Des and E-Hug
10 seconds remaining.
today as well, and that'll round out our 4 teams for Group
5
C.
seconds remaining.
If you're interested more about this tournament, you can go check it out at dota2.ca,
Reserve time.
or just hop on over to their Twitch channel, the official Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/Dota2 Canada Cup. And there's also an in-game ticket that you can buy for $8.99 as well. And that gets you a cool-looking Sven set. It also allows you to watch all the games inside the client,
Radiant
and
team
get some
ban.
pretty awesome drops. I've already gotten 3 items so far. So value ticket right there. But on top of that, 12.5% of that $9 goes directly back into the prize pool. So not only are you supporting this
seconds
great
remaining.
tournament, but you're also supporting the players as well. So it's a pretty good investment. I buy the
seconds
ticket every single time. I absolutely love the Dota 2 Canada Cup. And, well, I like casting it as well. So excited about that.
Dire
But
team
we're
pick.
quite a ways into this draft, so let's try and catch up here. As we had a little bit of issues with the lobby on Valve's end, but we did get the game started, although it was a little late. But we're starting a little early tonight, anyways. So we've got compLexity. They're going to be playing on the Dire side, even though it's not tagged up, and the Radiant side is going to be
10
not today.
seconds remaining.
As for our bans, Earthshaker,
5
Lena,
seconds remaining.
Dazzle, and Storm Spirit have been banned out by compLexity. Juggernaut, Troll, Queen of Pain, and the Treant
Reserve
Protector
time.
banned out by Not Today. Picks: Sniper and Witch Doctor picked up by compLexity. Nothing too surprising there. Going after the Sniper. Wisp, Axe, and now Disruptor picked up by Not Today. What's interesting about Not Today is they're actually very versatile on how they run the Axe. We see a few teams do this. They'll most likely run it in the off lane, but they do resort to kind of running it in the 4 position. What's interesting is that Not Today's, they have no problem with throwing that axe in the mid lane even, and having Smash play that.
Radiant
Smash
team
largely
pick.
considered the strongest mid player, if not the strongest player, coming out of South America. So expect to see some big things coming out from him. Now, most of the people on Not Today's roster aren't really under names that I recognize Obviously, Smash and Van are under their normal names, but I'm not sure who OK, Just the Way, or Nate River are.
10
So
seconds remaining.
I'm assuming that's the rest of their
5
roster with
seconds
Ifrit,
remaining.
Smishko, and Stinger, I believe, is going to be their 5th.
Reserve time.
But not 100% sure on that, so I'm just going to refer to them as whatever name they're going to go by in-game, as it may actually change from what it's displaying on the draft, but we're going to have to just go with what we got.
Templar Assassin.
Clockwork was the pick for complexity.
Dire
Now
team
Templar
pick.
Assassin will get picked up by Not Today. Templar Assassin, another one of those heroes that Smash is quite proficient with. That's the word I was looking for. As for Not Today, well, they did all right last Dota 2 Canada Cup. They finished second in their group with a record of 2-1.
10 seconds
So they'll at
remaining.
least look to do as well as they did last time around. Of course, top 2 in the
5
group
seconds
advance.
remaining.
But then they lost first round in the playoffs, and I'll get to that in a second.
Reserve
Complexity, they finished first in their group in the last Dota 2 Canada Cups with a 3-0 record, so looking to follow in those footsteps. And they lost in the second round of the playoffs to Summoner's Rift, 2-0. They got there by playing Not Today in the first round, which Complexity won 2-0. So a little bit
10
of
seconds remaining.
rivalry brewing between the two teams there. It
5
should
seconds
be
remaining.
quite interesting to see them kind of square off again.
Radiant team ban.
The last time they played each other, Complexity lost 2-1 to Not Today, so it was a close one. It was in the Summit 3, so fairly recent, within the last month they played
10
that match.
seconds remaining.
But beyond that, unfortunately, Not Today's been on a little bit of a
Dire
losing
team
skid.
ban.
They've lost their last 5. Prior to those 5 losses, and those 5 losses are against pretty strong teams. Summoner's Rift, Empire, MVP Phoenix, Balkan Bears, NIP.
Radiant team
So those are some pretty solid teams. Prior to that, though, they 2-1'd Wheel, they 2-1'd Cole in that Summit 3 match. So, yeah, they're on a 5-game losing streak, but at the same time, you know, those were some pretty formidable teams in what people would consider the tier above the tier that this tournament is.
10 seconds
As for
remaining.
Dota 2 Lounge, they think it's going to be or
5
in terms of
seconds
people
remaining.
betting on Dota 2 Lounge, they think this is going to be a close one. 54% are in favor of Not Today. So
Dire
definitely a
team
close one
pick.
indeed. Final 2 bans were Slark and Ancient Apparition. Viper was also the pick for Complexity. Now Phantom Assassin will come out for Not Today. Chen, the final pick for Complexity. So we've got all of our heroes, and we're about ready to jump on into this. Let's try to figure out our lanes real quick. Templar Assassin in the mid lane. Safe lane. Wisp, Disruptor, Phantom Assassin maybe. Axe in the off lane. There could be some variations there with Wisp and setting up maybe a dual lane mid. We'll have to figure out what's going to go on there. As for Complexity, Clockwork's going to be in the off lane. It could be either Sniper or Viper in the mid lane. Depends on how they do this. Some of these teams actually will switch up who they've got in the mid lane. I'm not sure if Complexity is one of those teams, but either way, the Witch Doctor will obviously be in the safe lane, and Chen will be sitting in that jungle. So it'll all come down to who they want to park mid against that Templar
10
Assassin.
seconds
If they
remaining.
actually do think it's going to be a Templar Assassin in the mid lane. I think if they
5
know for sure it's going to be a
seconds
TA and they got like a 1v1 matchup, I think they'd be favorable to put the Viper there. But if you're going up against a dual lane, you might want to put the Sniper. I don't know. I think the Viper would do quite well as well. Either way, let's get on into this and let's see. Let's let the players decide
Prepare
rather than
for
us.
battle.
As on the Radiant side, we're going to have Team Not Today playing their Disruptors, going to be OK. Playing the Templar Assassin. I'm sure you've heard this name before. It's Smash. Van is going to be on the axe. Just the Way is going to be playing the Phantom Assassin. And Nate River is going to be on that Wisp, aka the IO. For our Dire side, we have Team Complexity. As, well, TLK may be getting into a little bit of trouble. He's going to be the one playing the Witch Doctor for Complexity. His team's just a little bit behind him here. I'm going to get rid of the items here as we may actually have a confrontation before we're going to be able to finish the rosters. Z-Freak comes out of the trees, lays down a nice set of cogs. Unfortunately, Van did get pushed up into the trees, so didn't get pushed back towards the right. So they're going to get some good damage in on Van here. The question is, will he be able to get back to his team? He's going to turn back. We should have first blood here as the axe. It's just a matter of time. Will it? Yeah, okay. He is going to go down. TLK, though, is getting quite low, and he's going to get killed as a kind of a revenge kill there. Just the way, getting quite low, but Nate Rivers going to latch onto him and keep him healed on up and help him get on out of there. We're going to lose OK as well. So 2 kills going the way of compLexity now. TLK has come down here and managed to cut off just the way, but not going to be able to finish off that kill. But some nice body blocks coming out from TLK combined with the cogs from Z-Freak, and it's a 3rd kill for Team compLexity. As we see just the way making his way down to the bottom lane. He's even going to pick up a bounty rune here. And unfortunately, we are going to get a pause, but maybe that's better for us as we need to catch back up and introduce all our players. As on the sniper for compLexity is going to be Swindlemelons. We already introduced TLK on the Witch Doctor. At Zizzy DotA, or just Zizzy, is going to be playing the Viper, but definitely go and check out his Twitter. Z-Freak's going to be on the Clockwork. That's actually Swindlemelon's brother, if you didn't know that. And Zizu is going to be on the Chen. So, quite the start to this game right off the bat, as we had 4 kills before the creeps even spawned. As we're going to resume this and get right back on into it. But that was some interesting plays. Obviously, Not Today wanting to make their way into the dire jungle because they wanted to block up the camps. They did actually get the sentry off to block this camp so that Chen wouldn't have access to it. That's the only ward that they did place, but obviously it did cost them. Smash now just getting his bottle delivered. So his team may have lost 3 heroes, but he wasn't one of them, so he's not playing from behind. Swindlemelons was a part of all 3 of those kills, but just getting the assist there, not getting the bonus gold for getting that last hit on the hero. But either way, this will be our matchup in the mid lane, TA versus Sniper. In the top lane, it will be a dual lane, with the Axe and the Wisp going up against the Witch Doctor and Viper. Oh, Nate River almost going down there, but Van covering nicely with the taunt. But yeah, they will be going up against the Viper, the Witch Doctor, and, well, the Chen's going to be in the jungle, but we can kind of half consider him in the top lane. As for our bottom lane, we've got the Clockwork going up against the Phantom Assassin. And where is he? Here he is in the trees, the Disruptor. So 2-1-2 lanes coming out from Not Today. This is going to allow them to be a little bit more efficient than they would if they were running 1-1-3. But they're not really going to get that much of an advantage over their opponents because, well, their opponents are effectively running a 2-1-2 setup, kind of, as in terms of efficiency, as Chen's going to be in the jungle. So it's more like a 1-1 2.5, something like that. The only downside to having a jungler is, yes, he's going to be able to get more XP and a little bit more farm than kind of your position 4 in a 2-1-2 setup. But your offlaner effectively is going to get less. So this Clockwork's not going to get as much as the Axe is going to get in the top lane. Although that's kind of how you theory craft it. That's how it works out on paper. Doesn't always work out that way. So we'll have to see how it works out this game. As we see Nate River covering those runes, but oh, not close enough, as he thought he had it secured for Smash, but TLK comes on in and just destroys the bounty rune, so that's not available to him. Z-Freak made his way for the bottom rune, but he will get glimpsed back by OK, and OK realized that Z-Freak walked into Roche Pit, but good play by him not following Z-Freak into that fog, as he would have been walking right into a cogs. And notice Z-Freak hasn't skilled any of his other points yet. He just has the 1 point in cogs, and he's waiting until he has a situation where he's actually going to have to skill that up. Had he been able to trap OK and cogs at Roche, he definitely would have put 2 points into Battery Assault, and that would have net him a kill very easily. I'm trying to pay a bunch of attention to this middle lane as we have, well, probably, I don't want to say our most important lane, but effectively it is. It's going to be very important lane as this game goes forward, because TA is going to really be the pace setter. Obviously, Axe is going to be doing the same thing, but he's kind of been shut down a little bit in that top lane and had to abandon, as he's going to be farming up a little bit of stacks in the jungle here, which have been created by Nate River. But the Templar Assassin is going to be the one that's really going to start setting the pace in the mid game, combined with the Axe. And on top of that, you look at the Dire side, Swindle Melons. It's very important for him to get a good start and to get going on the sniper. He's kind of their position 1 this game, so he's really not going to be the one moving around and creating all the space. But it still is very, very important, as you expect Not Today to start trying to put some pressure on that sniper. Speaking of pressure, we have a smoke coming out from the 2 supports on compLexity, as they're going to come in behind to smash. They've already dropped a sentry, so Meld not available for smash, and that's going to be a nice kill coming out for compLexity. Swindlemelon's going to get the last hit there. That's perfect textbook execution of a nice gank coming out from the Chen and the Witch Doctor. This Van continues to farm up in the jungle. Another stack, and he's actually leveling pretty quickly, despite how the early laning phase had gone for him. Z-Freak already level 4, almost level 5 here, so he's getting a ton of XP in this bottom lane. Hasn't really been able to get zoned out by the Disruptor. And as a result of that, it's been able to pretty much soak XP the entire time. Can't really compare his XP directly with the Axe. His Axe about to hit 4, as he was kind of sharing XP for the most part with the Wisp. Mid lane, obviously, Smash already took a fall, but he's about to hit level 6. Swindlemelon's already about a third of the way on to 7. That's actually quite surprising. Okay, just spent an Observer Ward in the mid lane here to give some vision up onto the high ground for Smash. But obviously he wasn't expecting there to be a sentry ward there, but typically there is going to be a sentry placed mid going up against a Templar Assassin. So a little bit surprised that he would place that in a location that would get countered so easily by a typical sentry that you'd place against Templar Assassin. Maybe just a little bit of a mistake there. Might be a little bit more value had he put it over here, just slightly out of range of where the sentry ward would be able to spot it. Of course, this isn't exactly your typical spot for a sentry ward either. Most of the time it just gets placed down in the river because it kind of gets placed from the high ground, so you don't really see the person doing it. But they placed it while they were ganking, and that actually put it in a little bit of a different spot, but it's quite an effective spot because it would have covered your standard Observer Ward location over here to spot up for the high ground as well. Speaking of high ground wards, we do have one in the mid lane for the Dire side, and yeah, you can see just how much Not Today is valuing the vision in this area, and somewhat in the up in the high ground, just to try and spot those ganks coming in on to Smash. Well, top farmer right now is going to be our Viper in the top lane, 43 and 17. Right behind him, though, is Just the Way on the PA at 41 and 13. Z-Freak has hit 6 on the Clockwork, so expect him to potentially get the move on and move to a different lane and get a hook shot off and potentially get a kill. He may elect to actually stay down here for another level or two because he's been having such an easy time. So if he can get a little bit more CS and maybe a level or two more under his belt, he may choose to actually just stay here and do that because that'll allow him to have an easier job kind of jumping around the map. As you see, TLK placing an Observer Ward up onto the high ground here, trying to prevent any kind of ancient stacking and clearing coming up from Not Today. It's already been stacked once and cleared. The little guys have been cleared at least. So we saw Z-Freak pick up the 2 components leading up to the Blade Mail. Doesn't have a TP on him, and we see he might get picked off here. He's going to use the hookshot just to stun up Just the Way, and then he uses the cogs to pull him into the tower, and there was actually a cancel on that TP. Had that TP gone through, I think they would have just got a return kill on the PA. So a little bit of a mistake there coming out from compLexity. They do lose their their clockwork and don't get a return kill there. I'm not sure who it was TPing in. I completely blanked on who it was.
Tower is under attack.
But it will get cancelled. I imagine it was the Witch Doctor.
Radiant structures are fortified.
It's complexity. Putting pressure on this top tier 1 tower. We've already got a Midas picked up by the Viper. And the top tier 1 will
Radiant's
indeed
top
fall.
tower has
Chen
fallen.
hasn't really picked up any items leading up to what I'm going to assume is going to be his mech. And there we go. It flies in with the courier right now. It's going to be a buckler. So definitely going to be a mech coming out from the Chen. TLK already sitting at 1100 gold. It's quite a lot of gold on this Witch Doctor already into this game. He is 1-1 and 2, so he has been fairly active. Keep in mind he was very nearly our first target of our first blood. He died just after the first blood was acquired by complexity.
Under attack.
And he's elected to pick up a set of power treads, and now they're smoked up with the Chen and the Viper. As they're going to go for a wrap around here on Smash. As they realize he's doing the ancient camp. Smash now going to get stunned up. They're even going to slow him down a little bit with the Viper strike. Assassinate flew through as well.
Radiant's middle tower
And
is
we'll
under
see
attack.
Smash go down. And Glimpse will bring TLK back towards the creep wave and the tier 2 tower, but that's going to cost OK his life. Complexity will gladly take that kill. With the 4 of them all together here, they should just be able to walk out and not get punished for this as well. In
Radiant's
fact, they'll just
middle
walk right
tower
through
is
the
under
tower.
attack.
Z-Freak making a rotation from the bottom lane to come join his team. So now it's a 5-man grouping from Complexity in the mid lane. And they're actually going to use the hookshot onto Van here. Looks like it's going to be another kill on top of the tier 1 tower, which is about to fall. They did just use the glyph. No creep wave currently on it, but here it comes right now. So it should be the tier 1 in the mid lane going down as well. I don't think we're going to see any TPs or anything like that coming up from Not Today. And indeed we won't. As the tier 1 goes down, that'll get basically almost the entire mech completed for Chen. He just needs another 100 gold and he'll have that done. Z-Freak should have the blade mail finished, as I imagine that's what's flying out right now on the courier. Not Morbid Mask and a bottle. Where did his gold go? What? Where's his gold? Just oh, he bought the bottle. That makes sense. So choosing not to finish the blade mail and electing to go with a bottle, and that the difference between that is the blade mail is a little bit more of an offensive. So it's an offensive defensive item. The way that you'd be playing the blade mail on the clockwork is you jump on in and then you use. So you're playing offensive, as that's the nature of the hero at this stage in the game, but you use the blade mail as your defensive item to allow you to play offensively. Because once you got the blade mail popped, people aren't really going to focus you. It's just not valuable. Sometimes there is value in actually focusing and just burning down a target, even if they have blade mail up, given the right circumstances, given positioning, given a whole bunch of things. So we see Z-Freak get a hook shot off onto Van here. He's already getting tethered up by Nate River, who will actually relocate him away. So they'll go back to the fountain, and will they come back? Doesn't look like anyone else from Not Today is going to be around in the vicinity, so expect just the Wisp to come back, and indeed it will just be Nate River. He doesn't have anyone to tether to get out of there. Would have been maybe nice if there was a teammate TPing down here to the bottom tier 2 to give him a tether target. But we will see the Wisp go down, now 8-2 in favor of Complexity. Complexity looking quite good right now, as they've definitely taken the lead in this game. Switching over to net worth, we can see the top 2 in the game do indeed belong to Complexity. Viper way out in front, 7,200 net worth. Second place, we got the Sniper at 5,200. Followed pretty closely by the TA at just 5,200 as well. And Smash a little bit further down on the TA, 4,400. Then as we move down, of course, Chen's going to be quite high up there. In fact, just about 300 ahead of the Axe. And with him having the mech finished and flying out here, they'll easily take Roche. And I imagine the Aegis will go on to Swindle Melons. No, it's actually going to go on. Yeah, it is going to go on Swindle Melons. Okay, they were a little hesitant there as well. So Sniper will hold the Aegis, and now we're going to have an engage here. Van jumps on in with the Blink Dagger. Nice taunt coming up from him. That'll get them the kill onto TLK, and a whole thing, whole back of that was actually followed up by a very nice ultimate coming out from the Disruptor. Zizzy getting incredibly low. Balls will smack him in the back of the head. That'll get him the fast trip back to the fountain. As this fight's still going on, Zizu has just delivered his mech, but he's got no mana to use it. He's already used the Hand of God earlier on, so that'll be back up in 10 seconds, but of course he's not going to have mana to use that either. Z-Freak maybe has overextended here as he's getting focused down by 3 heroes of Not Today. Lays down the cogs, and that actually allows him to zone out the PA and get the kill. But in the end, he'll go down as well. So a little bit of a disaster there for compLexity. They get punished for taking that Roche so early. As we see, one hero goes down on the side of Not Today, but it costs compLexity all 5 of their heroes. They had a buyback on the Witch Doctor, so doesn't really show as that many heroes being dead at the moment, but we can see through the fight recap, all 5 heroes died at some point through that fight. Huge gold change as a result. As we see about 4,000 gold swing, and speaking of gold slings, let's actually bring up the gold graph and see exactly where we stand right now. So it is still compLexity in the lead. As well, we knew they were in the lead, but we weren't exactly sure by how much, and we can see now it's just over 3,000 gold in favor of them. It's come back quite a bit though. It was getting pretty close to 7,500, which is quite a significant lead this early in the game, but with how that last fight went, unfortunately it's come back, and well, I guess unfortunately for compLexity, but fortunately for us, as that means it's going to be a closer game. XP shows just how close it could be, as we're locked pretty much dead even at 0. No team really having the edge there. Let's quickly cycle through our heroes and our items and see what we got. We got an ultimate orb picked up after the phase and the Aquila for the Phantom Assassin. That's quite interesting. And well, what else is interesting is we have a 4-man smoke coming out from compLexity. The only one not with them is in fact the Clockwork, who is showing in the bottom lane. So the heroes of Not Today actually need to be careful. With the Clockwork showing, you're actually going to feel a little bit more safe than if any other hero was showing on the map for compLexity, and the Clockwork was the one missing. But Not Today seemingly know what's up, as they're not pushing out too far, and as I say that, Nate River and Van start pushing out a little bit further. Z-Freak will see that and play on it as he jumps in with the hook shot, dropping Nate River quite low. He did tether out of the cogs, but he's not going to be able to get away as Swindle Melons with the Assassinate drops his health quite low. It's actually Z-Freak who finishes him off to get the kill. So the two brothers combining for the kill there.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
On the back of that, compLexity will look to take this tier 2 tower. Not Today says, well, we can't defend that, so let's just trade. We're going to take the top tier 1.
Dire's top tower
And a good trade that would be, as they clearly aren't going to be in position to defend this tier 2 tower. It's one of the hardest towers in the game to defend anyways.
Tower has fallen.
Pretty much once you lose this spot right here, once you've kind of retreated back past there, once you actually retreat back past this part, you've pretty much lost the tower. It's very hard to retake. You can kind of retake it with something like a Ravage, but you need a big, huge AoE disable like that to really create an opening for everyone to come up back through that choke and not get picked off. Chen, speaking of getting picked off, he was just relocated on, but they actually didn't realize that he had just turned around there. So good play there coming out from Zizu to not go down. The relocate will bring the Wisp back by himself to the fountain, but we got action in the mid lane as Zizzy's gonna go down here. Once again, nice static storm being laid down by OK. Z-Freak jumps onto the Wisp one more time. That's gonna be a dead Wisp, as it's actually a double for Z-Freak. He got the kill onto Van as well. I don't think they're going to be able to get any more kills here, but compLexity coming out ahead 1-2. In that exchange. They didn't even have Zizu there with them, but of course, Hand of God, global presence, being able to heal all of his allies up on the map, regardless of where he is. If only Mech could do it too. No, that would be too broken. But Hand of God obviously keeping a few members of compLexity alive there. Well, let's see how well Smash is doing. He's elected to go the drums route on the TA, and I think that's okay. It gets his HP pool up, but also gives him a little bit more mana to deal with, and it gives him the move speed. as he's elected to not go the Yasha route, as he's just going to go straight into a Desolator, which makes the TA hit damn hard. But he still hasn't finished that, sitting at 500 gold right now. He's getting close, but once he gets that finished, he's going to be hitting pretty damn hard. The Witch Doctor to the Chen, they really need to be careful, and to some extent, the Sniper as well. Smash doesn't really have a way to close onto the Sniper that easily, but we're going to see Z-Freak get closed on as Relocate used, and that definitely could be one of the ways that they could close the gap on the Sniper, relocating directly on top of him. Wisp, one of the stronger counters to the Sniper. But we see it's not so effective going up against a Clockwork when he's got hookshot available. As he just hookshots to a teammate, and well, your relocate kind of means nothing. The one thing that you really have to be active about when you're ganking someone like a Clockwork, or a better example might be a Slark, is you've got to get in front of him. Got to make sure he can't hookshot to a teammate, or in the case of Slark, he can't pounce away. You want to be able to be in front of him to block that cast so he can't jump away to somewhere. Unfortunately, not today, not able to do it that time, or not able to do it today. God, I need to stop making these jokes. I'm sorry, guys. We will have a Yasha, the next pickup for the Phantom Assassin. Looks like going right into a Manta. Smash just now finishing the Desolator. What do we got on Swindle Melons? Mask of Madness, Yasha. Another 900 gold. Zizou got the point booster, so working towards his Ag Scepter for even better Hand of Gods. TLK also got a point booster, going for the Ag Scepter for the Death Ward. Another Ag Scepter for Z-Freak. Everyone's getting Ag Scepters on the side of complexity, as he wants that reduced cooldown onto the hook shot for the Clockwork. He's already finished his Blade Mail, so he can jump on in, pop that, and not really have to worry about too much. It's actually a good way of returning some of the damage to Disruptor, as Disruptor most likely going to be laying down the kinetic field and the static storm in the rough area that Z-Freak's probably going to be jumping on in on that Clockwork. So he's going to be able to reflect some of that damage back at least.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Speaking of okay, he's got a Staff of Wizardry, but nothing else to show exactly which route he's going to be going for. I'm assuming that's going to be a Force Staff, as it's got better functionality going up against a Clockwork, given that you can push a teammate out of cogs. But there is the off chance that that could go into a Eul's. So we see the top tier 2 tower going down and the mid tier 2 tower going down. So complexity managing to get 2 towers there, with not today going for the trade, but only able to claim that tier 1 in the bottom lane.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Oh, we see a hook shot coming out from Z-Freak onto Smash, and they're going to catch him out to start this fight. That Blade Mail helping keep Z-Freak alive there. OK is going to get caught out as well, as 2 heroes go down for not today, and complexity is just going to look to keep pushing up on to the high ground here. We don't have Roche respawning yet, so that's not an option for them to back to. As well, I think they'll gladly take the tier 3 here. Can they stay for racks? They've got 16 seconds till the Disruptor's up, 25 till the TA's up. Looks like they will stay for racks, and I think they will have time, but Van's going to jump on in and get a taunt off. Just going to land on Swindle Melons, but it will be enough for them to get the kill. And maybe complexity has stayed too long here. Nate River getting quite low. Will he be able to get away? He will. As the Assassinate, unfortunately not available because the Sniper has already taken a fall. However, complexity still able to get that mid-rack. Zizzy will get taunted up, so he will get punished for sticking around that long. But actually, Van's going to get punished for jumping in. Zizzy's still alive. He's getting quite low, but he will eventually go down. Unfortunately, TLK going down as well, but just the way, and Z-Freak go down as well. Oh my goodness, so many heroes dying there so quickly. But it is our first set of racks going down, and a set of racks going down 21, 22 minutes into the game is quite significant. But it did cost complexity a lot of heroes towards the end there, as they lost 4. Nate River has picked up a Ghost Scepter to go with his urn. Smash, of course, finished that Desolator. Van with the Blink and also an Ogre Club, probably building towards a BKB. Will he jump onto Swindle Melons here? Indeed he will, as Swindle Melons in a little bit of trouble. He'll actually get attacked before he's able to blink, as his teammates just relocated away to the bottom lane to get a kill onto Zizou. That was a little bit of miscommunication. They clearly had the opportunity to jump on the Sniper and get a kill on him instead. But they elect to go down to the bottom lane onto the Chen. I guess that's the more I want to say guaranteed kill, but the sniper kill looked very guaranteed. Oh well, not realizing that that opportunity there in the mid lane. Looks like Van definitely recognized it, but the other heroes not following him up there. Smash has picked up an Ogre Club, so going for a BKB as well. We've got the Force Staff complete on the Disruptor, so it's not a Yules at all. Swindle Melons, S and Y completed, so actually not completing the Manta, going for the S and Y instead. That'll get his HP pool up and allow them to actually be a little bit more aggressive earlier on in this game.
Incoming.
Ogre Club picked up on TLK, another basically 1,000 gold in his inventory. So he's getting very close to having that Egg Scepter, increasing the potency of his Death Ward. Z-Freak's already finished his, so expect him to be hook-shotting all over the place. Chen, close as well, 1,200 away from completing his. Zizzy has gone for an S and Y and also picked up a plate mail. Probably going to be... you can actually get both on the Viper, but we see right now with the Hyperstone getting purchased and the recipe and all that, it is going to be an AC. And I think that'll synergize quite well with their team, certainly with the Sniper, as that'll help them out quite a bit, as you know, that'll help the Sniper deal some more damage going forward. It'll also help defend them a little bit against some of the right click coming out from Not Today. Of course, with the Desolator already on Smash, any little bit of armor that you can get to get your armor out of the negatives is going to be absolutely huge. We see actually Not Today putting some pressure on the bottom lane, but they don't know there's been a 5-man smoke from compLexity that's going to be coming in behind them. Not Today do have to be a little wary of this lane pushing in the mid lane, and uh-oh, here we go. Now they're trapped. They're committed. This is a great engage from compLexity as Z-Freak jumps onto the Axe, but the main fight is actually down here as the Static Storm has been laid down, and we'll just trap the Viper though, as Just the Way is going to be the first hero to go down. We will lose OK and Zizu as well. Now Smash getting absolutely trucked by that Death Ward coming up from TLK. We've already lost all 4 heroes besides the Wisp, as Nate River somehow finds a little spot in the trees to sit there and hide, despite the fact that a bunch of them have been destroyed. He doesn't have any way to get out of there. No TP available to him. And now, he will say, well, we just wiped out a bunch of heroes. Roche is available. We'll go take him. They could, you know, run down into the base and deal some damage, but they've already destroyed all the buildings in the mid lane. It's not like they could get some damage in on the tier 4, but clearly Roche is going to be the more valuable target, as their next push isn't going to be for the throne. It's going to be most likely for in the bottom lane, going for this tier 3 tower, although they do have some good ward support up in the top lane, so maybe top will be the target instead. Aegis went on to Swindle Melon, so the Sniper's going to have that. So even if they do relocate onto the Sniper or manage to land him in an Axe Taunt and get a kill on him early on into the fight, he will be able to just respawn. And with the amount of healing coming out from his team, no, I haven't looked at TLK's skill build, but he actually elected to go with the 2 points in the Maledict rather than maxing the Voodoo Restoration. So they don't have that much healing coming out from the Witch Doctor, but when you've got Chen on your team, you don't really need the Voodoo Restoration, as he not only has Hand of God, but a mech, and I imagine he's going to be very close to finishing his Egg Scepter, as Career's going to fly out to the Secret Shop and buy something. It's going to be a Demon Edge for Swindle Melons. Most likely going to be building towards an MKB. That's going to allow him to land the auto attacks on the Phantom Assassin through the blur. So no evasion going to be available to PA in terms of dodging the sniper attacks at least. Smash and Co will look to try and defend their high ground here. It could be a tough fight. I don't think compLexity will commit to this too hard, because the Chen ultimate not available to them yet. They'll have to wait until the next creep wave, but then Hand of God will be there. Still no Egg Scepter completed. Still 350 gold away from that. I'm sure they would have loved that for this team fight, but definitely not necessary, as they've been in a commanding lead in these fights. And look at this, Swindle Melons can just stand onto the low ground, use that shrapnel to give him vision, and just take pot shots on the tower. It's already taken almost half of its HP and damage.
Boom, there it goes.
Z-Freak constantly flaring up onto the high ground, giving them vision of these heroes. You see, Not Today's already placed a sentry ward to make sure that there's no observer ward scouting them out, but of course Flare is doing essentially the same thing for them. Now Swindlemelons continues to take those shots in the tower. It's down to 500 HP now. Almost 400. So they've got to go at some point here. Nate Rivers actually going to tether to one of the creeps. Van's going to jump in, and now, oh no, this has been a bad initiation for Not Today. Static Storm will just trap TDK, or TLK. But this has just been a complete disaster of a fight for Not Today. They've lost their Wisp. No buyback available to him. And now they're going to have to try and defend here as 4. Wow, defending. The creep wave pushing in mid. Top's pushing as well. The Chen creeps are up there helping assist in that. Now, with the tier 3 down in the mid lane, or in the bottom lane, compLexity looking to take these racks. So this catapult giving them vision up onto the high ground, allowing Swindlemelons to just stand down here and take those shots off onto the racks. We are going to see it fall. Not Today. Found themselves down 2 lanes of racks. 29 minutes into the game. This is going to be very, very difficult for them to kind of regain that map control. And look, compLexity's not done. They're making a rotation right up here. They're going to punish Not Today for potentially stepping out of their base. Will we see a hook shot onto Van here? He doesn't actually have his force staff up. He still had 4 seconds on it. So had Z-Freak hook shot it in. That could have been a dead Axe. Of course, Axe, probably not the best hero for you to engage. He's just outside at the base there. It could be a bad start to a team fight. And looks like, oh no, I was going to say compLexity's going to back away, but Zizzy just went to the secret shop to buy a Reaver. So getting even tankier on that Viper. And still just the Demon Edge, and there we go. 2 Javelins getting purchased by Swindlemelons. They'll fly out on the courier to complete his MKB.
Radiant's top
TLK
tower is under attack.
has his eggs, and the eggs has also been delivered for Azizu on the Chen. So an even better hand of God. Van's going to jump on in. Taunt's going to land on nothing. He's going to get Viper striked, and now he's going to desperately get Force Staff back by both himself and his teammates to get it faster back to the fountain, as he's lost a decent amount of HP. The tier 3's gone down. We're going to see the last melee racks go down here. Or maybe not. As the glyph's going to come out now, Van's going to re-engage. This time he does get a taunt off onto Zizzy, but the counter engage here from Z-Freak has been phenomenal. Static Storm was good, but not good enough. As 4 heroes have gone down for Not Today. We did have a buyback from the PA, but with just the PA and the Disruptor up, there's no way they're going to be able to defend here. The last set of racks goes down. Z-Freak, hook shots on in, traps both of them in the cogs. Okay, Force Staffs himself out, but he'll still go down despite being in his fountain, just away, losing a bunch of HP as well. And this one looks all but over. compLexity completely dominating Not Today in this one. Take a quick look at our gold graph, see just how far ahead they were at the end there. Over 20,000 gold. My goodness, what a dominating performance from compLexity, just walking all over Not Today in our first match of Group C for the Dota 2 Canada Cup.
Dire victory.
Well, that's the last we're going to see of compLexity for today. They're going to play twice tomorrow, but it's certainly not the last we're going to see of Not Today, as they're going to play all their games today. So 2 more games coming up from Not Today. Our next game will be between Not Today and Rebel Deaths. Rebel Deaths was one of the teams that made it in through the qualifiers. That game is going to start at about 7:15 Eastern, so about 15 minutes from now. So definitely go, grab a drink, grab a snack, whatever you need to do in that 15-minute wait time. One of the things that you can do is hit me up with a follow on my Twitch channel if you enjoyed the cast. If you didn't enjoy the cast, you know what? Let me know. Let me know why. Send me a message on Twitch. Say it in the chat. Contact me on Twitter. It doesn't matter. Find a way to get a hold of me. And let me know what you didn't like. And let me know if there's something that you think I could improve on. But yeah, definitely hit me up with a follow on Twitch to find out every time I go live casting. I'm going to be casting all of the Dota 2 Canada Cup, every group stage, and I'm going to be casting the playoffs as well. Of course, there is an official channel for the Dota 2 Canada Cup at twitch.tv/Dota2 Canada Cup. So go there, check that out, support them as well. They're even giving giveaways for mice and other stuff, G2A coupons and all that stuff. So definitely go hit them up with a follow as well. You can follow me on Twitter at NizCast, where I tweet about all the games I'm going to be casting, all that kind of stuff. And everything I have cast will be uploaded in terms of VODs to YouTube. So, yeah, go follow me on YouTube, subscribe to me on YouTube at youtube.com/NizCast. That's going to be it for this one. Like I said, next match is going to be between Not Today and Rebel Des at 7:15 Eastern, about another 15, almost 18 minutes from now. So hopefully you'll stick around and rejoin us. That's going to be it for this one. Once again, I'm Niz, and you're watching the Dota 2 Canada Cup.